My name is Lisa Hannibal and I'm the Volunteering Support Officer for Action Together, and I'm based in Tameside. Today, we are joined by Jeff Boardman from the charity Being There. He is the Volunteer Recruitment Coordinator for the charity. And also he has volunteered with them as well for 21 years. So he's best placed to answer all of our questions about volunteering and how you can get involved. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Lisa.
So can you tell us more about Being There and what you do, who you support and how you do it?
Yeah, Being There was a charity that was set up in 1983. We support people with life-limiting illnesses on a number of fronts, really. We provide home support, transport to hospital appointments, respite sitting. We have a social group every fortnight, and we also now have a professional counselling service as well, which is really important and really helpful in the current situation.
Right, okay then. So anybody that is listening to this video that thinks that they would benefit from the services that Being There provide, how would they go about connecting with the charity and signing up, basically?
There are a number of ways that you can do that. You can either do a self-referral. You can ask your doctor or healthcare provider to submit one of the application forms, one of the referral forms, which is on our website. Very straightforward to complete, and just send that off, and one of the managers will look at that and be in touch with you regarding suitability to join our charity as a client.
Right, okay, lovely. Thank you for that. So in terms of volunteering, can you let us know about the types of volunteering opportunity that are on offer with Being There?
Certainly. At the moment, we're just providing telephone support for dozens and dozens of clients across Greater Manchester. We're constantly reviewing and looking at the situation regarding the virus and when we can start opening up our face-to-face services. We take people to hospital appointments. We have a support group every fortnight. We have respite sitting. I used to go and visit a gentleman whose wife would just go out in the afternoon for a couple of hours to do a bit of shopping and just to have some time for herself. We need people to help with the social events once that's opened up, where we make tea, we have cakes and different people coming to entertain the group. The counselling service is quite a new development. We're working with Salford University and using some of their students to help with the counselling, and it's part of their sort of course as well. So everybody benefits from that, really. Yeah, the telephone support we've really done a lot of, and hopefully we're going to continue with that even when things do get back to normal, because it's much more flexible for people. We've tried using Zoom, we've tried using WhatsApp with some of our clients who would never ever have used them before. So we've adapted well, and we've encouraged people to use and learn the new technology.
Brilliant. So if someone was interested in becoming a Being There volunteer, what's the process?
Well, sorry. Very similar to the client referral. There's an application form on the website under volunteering that you can. There's a free phone number that you can phone that's on the website. All the branch managers have their numbers on the website as well. So it is just a matter of doing that. Okay. When we were doing volunteer recruitment promotions, I take lots of information for people to have a look at, take their details, and then we get in touch with them. And very, very flexible. People are under no pressure. It's just a very relaxed way of trying to help people with life-limiting illnesses.
Yeah. And I have copies of the application form as well, which I can email to people, along with some role descriptions that were kindly provided to me by the charity. So you do DBS check all of your volunteers as well, don't
Yes.
you? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. They've all got to have a DBS check.
Yeah, and the charity will organise that for you and get that processed. What sort of training do you offer to your volunteers?
The training again at the moment is Zoom based. It's mainly to do with listening skills and providing that telephone support. When we get back to some normality again, we have a full day's training in Manchester where we go through various other items such as the listening skills, how to communicate, what support networks are available within the charity, and how we deal with any situation that may arise for the volunteers. We have a specialist company that come in and help us with that, as well as some of our volunteers that are able to give really good advice to people because they've done it and been through it. And we get, as a volunteer, excellent support from all the managers. They are really, really good.
That's good to know. That is good to know. So, we're in it's not a particularly wonderful time, is it? With the pandemic, and there are more people than ever before that are in need of services like this. There's lots of there's a number of organisations that offer telephone befriending services, and thankfully, there's lots of people that are coming forward and offering to support that work. What we're finding is people have become more isolated, lonely, mental health is deteriorating, and that phone call, whether it's 20 minutes or 3 hours, it can make all the difference to somebody's life. If that person hasn't spoke to anybody for days on end, other than maybe a carer, someone that's nipped in to look after them, that's heartbreaking. And there's a lot of people, isn't there, that are in that situation, unfortunately.
Sorry, there is, and we've been able to expand our sort of network of clients by referrals. But one of the other things that I wanted to mention as well as helping the clients, and we really do, the feedback we get is really positive, but it's also a help for the client's wider family as well. The family may be living in another part of the country, so they're very worried and concerned about the parents or the brother or sister, but it's reassuring for them that they know that I'm going to be in touch with them every week with a phone call. Any issues we can raise with the managers and speak to them. I've had one of my clients, her son, I had a chat with him the other week because I hadn't been able to get hold of her. And he was so thankful and so pleased that Being There had been able to help his mother, because he lives 4 hours away in the car. So there's that aspect to it as well.
Yeah, makes a massive difference, doesn't it? And definitely a much needed service.
Yeah.
You've been a volunteer as well as the volunteer recruitment coordinator. What's your experience being like as a volunteer?
It's remarkable. It is, because you meet some very, very strong people who are going through treatment for cancer, for other life-limiting illnesses. And the amount of positiveness that these people have is just remarkable, and it's a privilege to be able to support them and help them through such a difficult time. I was speaking to one client today, and she'd had some good news from a scan that she'd had recently, that the treatment was working, and it was just a lovely conversation to have with her. we both sort of shared the joy of the good news. And it's those things that are why I do it. You know you're helping people, and you know that it is, you do get a lot of self satisfaction.
Yeah, it was very rewarding. And then you know the friendships and the bonds that you make with these people as well.
Absolutely. I'm speaking to one chap on Zoom, never used it before, didn't know what it was. We look forward to the conversation now every Friday. And we have developed a real good relationship. And when things get a little bit better, I know I keep saying that, we're going to go meeting, you know, and we're going to have a chat and a walk around.
That'd be nice. I bet that's something to look forward to, isn't it? And it is going to get better because it has to get better.
That's
It just
right.
has to do. So what type of conversations do you have then? I mean, is it people talking about feeling poorly or low, or
what we try and do is to encourage people to be able to relax.
Yeah.
They can talk about anything. They can talk about their illness, the condition, if they want to. If they don't, that's perfectly all right. We talk about the weather. That there's some people that I've spoken to just recently. We've got exactly the same taste in music.
all right.
And it's just about trying to find that link and that connection with somebody. It might be food, it could be holidays. One lady I'm speaking to loves the cruises and holidays, and I'm on the phone for 30 minutes just talking about holidays, the weather. One good topic of conversation now is whether we've had the vaccine or not.
Yeah.
And you just find different ways of communicating and talking, and gardening. It's just a whole range of football, rugby.
Yeah.
And it's great just to have that normality in a conversation.
It's like you said though, isn't it? Once you have a chat with somebody and you realise you've got common ground, shared interests, the conversation will flow after that. And once you feel comfortable with one another as well. I mean, it's not going to be always going to be easy to talk to someone that you've never spoken to before. You've got to build that friendship, haven't you?
That's right, and that's part of the training. The training, we've got a video and a questions and answer session that sort of helps develop techniques to develop conversations and talking to clients. Some of the calls can be 2 minutes. You know, how are you doing? The weather's been a bit cold. Are you okay for food and everything? And that's just something that different people want. So it's very adaptable.
So it could be like a welfare check, couldn't it? Making sure that somebody's got everything that they need, and then if they don't, and you've got any concerns, you can contact your volunteer manager and let them know, and make sure people get the help that they need. They're not going without.
That's exactly right, and that's what we do. That's part of the not the script, but part of the idea of the telephone call is to make sure they're eating okay, sleeping, whether they're under the doctor, whether they're getting the treatment, and then you get to pick up any signs that people are not particularly well, and then it's straight onto the volunteer manager, and then they will take it up and take it further. But it's all part of the training that you get to know how to listen for the signs.
But knowing that you've helped someone and made sure that somebody's going to be okay and they're going to get the help that they need can be rewarding in itself, can't it? And I think that there's the worry for people in our communities that are isolated. You know, it's through the roof now at the moment, isn't it? There's just too many people that are being cut off from the world because of the pandemic. But yes, thankfully, there's lots of wonderful volunteers that want to sign up and be matched with all of these people and support them. So if anybody is interested in becoming a telephone befriender, let us know. Like I said, I can share the application form. I can talk you through the process. If you'd like to be connected with either Jeff or Suzanne, who is the branch manager for Tameside. We can make that link. You mentioned, obviously you're doing telephone befriending at the moment, but before pandemic, you were doing home visits. What do they look like? What's expected there?
Yeah, again, very, very well organised. The managers will link a volunteer with a client who perhaps have similar interests or even the opposite, have nothing in common. And then the manager would then arrange a meeting for us to go down to the person's home and just have that initial chat, that initial conversation, and that the managers will give the clients an idea of who the volunteer is, a bit of the background, and the same for the volunteer as well. They will give us an idea of the client's background as well. We're also looking for transport, for drivers who will take people to hospital appointments once that gets underway, respite sitting, and so yeah, we're looking for a range of volunteers.
So there is a lot that people can get involved in. I mean, this is great experience as well for anybody that's looking to add to the CV.
Yeah.
Loads of prospects, isn't there, for Mrs. Kerr? Yeah.
We like I say, we're doing some work with the Salford University, and they will use this experience as part of the CV. And when you're looking for jobs or in healthcare or community work, this sort of volunteering is ideal. And we do mention that to people that might be interested in helping us.
For anybody that is listening, because we always get this question, I don't have enough experience, I don't have any qualifications, I can't volunteer. What would you say to those people? Anyone that's interested in volunteering, you know, what do you look for in a volunteer?
Well, we've got to, because it is a very person-centred charity, we've got to have people that have a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding of how people think, and this is all developed with the training, and we have continuous training. We have different courses throughout the year that people can go on. So we're looking for somebody who's reliable, who's consistent, which are probably the things that I am really. I have that focus on I phone my clients every week, and it's a commitment. It is a big commitment. It's not something that you can take lightly. No. You do have to realise that it is a long-term commitment. It's very flexible in that you can choose to do a transport or not, or it could be a 20-minute phone call every week, that's all.
But if someone's looking forward to that phone call and they're sat by the phone waiting, you know, it is, you do need to commit to that, don't you? Because it can mean a lot to somebody. You know, things that we take for granted when we're not isolated ourselves. And like you've just said, it doesn't have to take up huge amounts of your time. So that's been really helpful. That's been really useful, and hopefully we've covered everything with all the questions that we've asked. But if anybody would like more information, or they'd like to express an interest in any of the roles that that Jeff's discussed, please get in touch. Don't underestimate the power of lived experience, personal experience. You know, if you've struggled yourself, you've had a befriending service work with you, and you've benefited from that, and you think that you could help somebody else. If you just like to have a chat, you know, you're a chatty person, and you think that you could brighten someone's day. If you're a good listener, and you could just sit and let somebody chat to you, because, you know, being indoors and not talking to anybody, if you're anything like me, you've got loads in your head and you just want to talk and talk. So yeah, get in touch. This is a very, very rewarding role that makes a huge difference, and there's a lot of people in Tameside that are benefiting from it right now, and you can be part of that. So thank you, Jeff, for joining me today.
Pleasure.
And we'll hopefully have some new volunteers for you very soon.
That'd be great, and thanks very much.
All right then. Thank you.
Thanks.